It's a touchy subject. Love Tom, but he left us.
Remember that day?
Yeah.
I was happy to see him get a job somewhere.
I'm rooting for Brady about 2% in this one.
He'll hear me be on the bench in the third row. He'll hear me.
Glad you're doing good, but I'm on the side of Belichick and the Pats.
The Patriots. Patriots all day. I'm done. This conversation's over.
And welcome to Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, takes, and gambling. I'm Nick. That was Sunday Night Football's promo for Tom Brady's welcome back to New England. Sunday night, Tom Brady is going to probably pass Drew Brees in all-time passing yards. It will happen first, second quarter or so. He's behind in, I don't know, like, trying to do math, 100, less than 170 yards or so. Got a big show for you today. Thursday Night Football coming up. I think there's a college game, but it's not ranked, so who cares? But we're going to start today talking about baseball. The win streak of 17 for the St. Louis Cardinals is over, but St. Louis wants you to know that they're still good. Congratulations. The Brewers won, and to celebrate some sort of seeding situation, some dude named Devin Williams celebrated by punching a wall after having a few drinks on Sunday. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, so last Sunday he punched a wall to celebrate clinching something, and he broke his hand or something, and now he can't play in the playoffs. Yep. What a cool way to celebrate, buddy. He was the NL Rookie of the Year last year. He's a starting pitcher, 8-2, 2.50 ERA, bunch of strikeouts. He's a good setup man as well if they need him. He's a good pitcher. See you when I see you. Man, that sucks. All right, let's move to some football news, some business of football news. Shefty and some other people reporting that the Chicago Bears have purchased something called Arlington Park or something in Chicago. Which, if you've ever been to Chicago, when you fly to Chicago, then you have an hour-and-a-half drive to Chicago from the airport. So it's really like you can just add an hour to your trip, even though the airport is technically in Chicago. You'd like them to put an airport like on the lake or something, but they can't do that. So they purchased this land way far away from downtown Chicago. It's up, I guess, as far north as Evanston, and then it's sort of by the airport. It's a 20-minute drive from the airport. I like it. The Chicago Bears as a franchise, Soldier Field is such a cool thing, and it's so historic, and the Bears are kind of lamenting this. But did you know that it's the smallest NFL stadium by capacity? It's ancient. They revamped it to look cool, but it's an old thing. It's not a great facility for a professional football team. And a lot of people have been wondering for years since the renovations happened, were the renovations worth it? Why not just build an actual stadium? And now The Athletic is reporting that they bought this land, and it's either for a practice facility or for a stadium or both. But it's a big win for the city of Chicago, and I've seen people online already suggesting that the White Sox should go ahead and take Soldier Field for themselves, and I like that. That's a good idea. Let's keep going to places where we put feet in our mouths here. So Matt Nagy said that Nick Foles might start. Hey, Justin Fields might start. Andy Dalton might start. Who knows? They're playing the Lions this week. If the Bears lose to the Lions, that's rock bottom, and we can be probably sure that if Matt Nagy doesn't get fired after losing to the Lions, that'll be hilarious. Speaking of idiot coaches, here we go. Joe Judge. Let's talk about analytics and coaches. Look, I think analytics are as important as anything else. You'd use tools to make decisions, but talking smack on analytics is really stupid, especially this is incredibly dumb. Joe Judge at his press conference was asked about consecutive punting from the 39. So from your opponent's 39, off the top of my head, 7 yards. 2 56-yard field goal opportunities for the Giants against whoever they played. I forget. Oh, Atlanta. Yeah, they lost that game. Boo, yikes. And he says, I don't live in the world of fear. It's case by case. And they asked about how analytics factors into his fourth down decisions. Quote, analytics is just a tool. You can look at a stat sheet all you want. I promise you, if Excel was going to win football games, Bill Gates would be killing it right now. But you got to take those numbers as a tool and go ahead and factor in how your team's playing at the time and how the opponent is as well. And also the flow of the game. Hey, buddy, one of the dudes who founded Microsoft and died worth $25 billion owned the Seattle Seahawks and won a Super Bowl. So he is killing it right now. The disrespect for Bill Gates from Joe Judge right there. Let's move to some NBA and NHL. I just want to look at who everybody thinks is going to win. We'll preview them slowly. It's football season after all. So the heavy favorites in the NBA are as follows: Nets, Brooklyn Nets, Lakers, Bucks, Warriors, and then after that there's a group of people that's basically like Jazz, Clippers, Suns, Sixers, Nuggets, and then there's a big drop off. The Heat or whatever are not going to win. And when we move to the NHL, the heavy favorites there are two teams that I would consider heavy favorites, and then there's another team that's like sort of a heavy favorite, and then there's a drop. So the heavy favorites are the Avalanche and the Knights. They were the heavy favorite. The Avalanche, yeah, they were the favorite last year. The Knights were also the favorite last year. They both got upset by the Knights beat the Avs, and then the Canadiens beat the Knights, which was really stupid. Then there's a Lightning. Winning 3 times in a row, it seems impossible. And then following the Lightning, you get Leafs, Bruins, Hurricanes, and then huge drops. And at the very bottom, the Buffalo Sabres, the worst franchise in sports, plus 20,000 to 1 odds. Or plus 20,000, which is 2,001, I think. Is it? 20,000. I don't know. It should be 20,000. It's preposterous. Absolutely preposterous situation happening in Buffalo. We can talk about that. I've got some clips queued up for you guys. You want to hear Colin Cowherd not know where Kerry Collins went to college? Here we go.
Drew Henson and Brady.
They've had good quarterbacks.
They've had pretty good quarterbacks.
I must get on Saturdays. I go to the Harbaugh, and I'm like, listen, he can't get the quarterback right. I think he's done a lot right. He can't figure it out, and I can't figure out how he can't figure it out. He's a former quarterback. Don't tell me the school had Tom Brady.
Here it comes.
It had Kerry Collins. I mean, they've had good NFL quarterbacks.
Kerry Collins was a Penn State guy.
My bad.
Yeah, see, love when he gets corrected live on the air like that. Like when he was interviewing Urban Meyer and he didn't know that Joe Burrow went to Ohio State. He's like, how did you guys let Joe Burrow get out of the state? And Urban's like, well, we didn't. Actually, we recruited him and signed him.
He's never been
Let's listen to Pedro Martinez cuss on the air. Are you ready? Got more clips for you guys. Here we go.
called for a balk in his career, Luke Weaver.
Well, the umpires don't know shit about what they're doing.
Pedro.
Oh, my man. Pedro Martinez crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Last one. Here's OJ. Hey, OJ, let me ask you a question. What do you think about Brady and Belichick? Here we go.
So I'm watching TV today, and it's all about Brady and Belichick.
Nice.
And they're actually on one of the NFL channels were talking about Belichick.
Yep.
And they showed his record without Brady. I guess trying to imply that Brady made Belichick. Come on, it's a team sport.
Oh, it's a team sport. Thanks, OJ. You're the man. I really appreciate you deep diving there for us. All right, last clip. This one's hard to hear, but it's hilarious, so we're going to do it. This is Bill Belichick at his press conference. Let's see if we can turn it all the way up.
Morning. What's going on? Any stories this week?
Any stories this week? Because the Brady and Belichick thing? Bill, you're hilarious. I really appreciate you doing that. Let's look at the NFL gambling odds. For tonight, Thursday Night Football, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. And remember, Urban Meyer reminded us all earlier this week that he did indeed coach Joe Burrow. Remember how good a college coach and recruiter he is, folks. He wanted you to know that. He made us acknowledge that, remember. I didn't do that. He did that. He wanted you to know that. He's like, hey, do you need a storyline? I coached both the quarterbacks in this game. Okay, so the Bengals are favored by 7.5. The Jags are a dumpster fire. The over-under is 46, which means both teams are considered a dumpster fire. Oh, my God, I'm so great at this. I'm so bad at this. Okay. 46 divided by 2 is 23. Minus 7. Wait. Minus 3.5 is 20. So they're predicting 20 to 27? Ish? Yeah. 20 to 26, 20 to 27. That's what I like to see. See that math I did so quickly? I'm staying away from the spread here. I think the Bengals are going to kill them for sure, but I wouldn't bet on it just because, they're the Bengals. Over-under, I do not mess with over-unders that can push. Always has to be a half point for me. I just don't do it. That's a lie, but I like to say that because it makes me think that I have some discipline. I want to look at some props that I find kind of fascinating. So the Vegas over-under totals on the quarterback play are a little weird to me because it implies that neither of these teams is going to run the ball and try to just get out of here. The Jags have a good running situation. They've got a decent line. They have a good running back, but they just want to throw the ball. Trevor Lawrence just chucks the ball down the field all the time. So the over-under on passing yards is 250-ish each. It's 250.5 for Burrow. It's 249.5 for Trevor Lawrence. But the attempts is what's weird. So 31.5 attempts for Joe Burrow, 36.5 attempts for Trevor Lawrence. 36.5 attempts for him would be, I think, a season low. So that's kind of strange. Over-under on touchdown passes for Joe Burrow is 1.5. I think that's going to go way over Jamar. Well, maybe not now. So here's the thing. The Bengals have a pretty good receiving core. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are super young. T. Higgins is a sophomore. Jamar Chase is a rookie. And I think they have Tyler Boyd, who's a third or fourth year receiver. Tyler Boyd, really good. Higgins is projecting. Jamar Chase, of course, 5th overall pick. Higgins and Boyd are out. So I might digress on that. That's kind of an interesting turn of events. As far as other props go, one of the most enjoyable props is who's going to score first. By player, you can bet on the odds. I like to pick something weird, especially because people are going to be hurt here. You know what? Trevor Lawrence running it in. I like that. Trevor Lawrence running it in is, I think, what I would go for. That pays out plus 1,800. Trevor Lawrence running it in. I like that as a pick. So let's just take a quick look at the college football weekend again. We're going to do more previews, but there's not enough time on Fridays. I'm trying to keep this show under 20 minutes for God's sake. There are a bunch of top 25 matchups, and they have incredible playoff implications. So Cincinnati and Notre Dame, their entire season is on the line in terms of their ability to go to the playoff this weekend. It's at Notre Dame Stadium. And, of course, this is the Brian Kelly revenge game, but nobody there. Is there anybody at Cincinnati that was even there? I'm not 100% sure. Arkansas and Georgia, that game kicks off at noon, and that'll be the biggest game that Arkansas has played in since they waxed Ohio State in whatever bowl that was. I don't know, it must have been 10 years ago now. Oh, my God, I'm old. 10 years, wow. That game kicks off at noon. It's between the hedges in Georgia. Arkansas, they're being rewarded in the rankings for destroying A&M and destroying Texas, and they should. The rankings, I think, are kind of stupid, but one thing that should happen is teams should be rewarded, like Iowa. Iowa is number 5 in the country. I think that's a good place to put them. Ole Miss is at Alabama. That game kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Similar to Oregon State and USC back in the day, and NC State and Clemson, Ole Miss has been sort of the thorn, or I guess is it Boston College and Clemson, sort of been the thorn in the side of Alabama here and there over the past 10 years or so. Baylor at Oklahoma State, that's one of those ones where both teams are ranked. Yes, that is factually true, but no one cares. Like nothing is going to, we all know that nothing will come of that, right? Like we all agree that like this is just something that is happening and nothing could possibly come of that. Other interesting games, Michigan going to Wisconsin. Wisconsin no longer ranked after losing to Penn State and Notre Dame, but I think that game's going to be pretty fascinating as well. We'll do a much more in-depth preview tomorrow as far as college football goes. I got to try to balance college football and pro football. There's only so much time. There's only so much time in one weekend. Big news from Jay Glazer. He says, keep your eyes on the Deshaun Watson situation. When Jay Glazer tweets something about news, pay attention. He predicted the Odell Beckham to Cleveland trade like months and months before it happened, and that's because it wasn't a prediction. He knew what was going to happen. That guy is not an NFL insider that's going to tweet contract details. That guy's an NFL insider that treats ground-shattering news. I respect him for that because he makes fun of all the insiders that just like, oh my God, so-and-so hurt his hamstring and didn't practice today. He doesn't do that. I love him for that. I absolutely love him for that. Deep dives and picks coming up tomorrow. This is interesting to see. Like, rate, review, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be back and better tomorrow morning.